Hey guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 22. In lieu of Marco Bezzecchi's first ever MotoGP victory, I've decided to try and replicate his wet weather riding performance here in Argentina in a time trial for you guys to then watch and then tackle yourself. Now, I'm going to do around 10 or 11 laps, probably 10, finish off in a round number, but see what I feel as we go. But for now, I've just got to get the feeling back with the wet. It's been a while since I've ridden in the wet. I think the last time I did a wet weather video, at least, would have been the wet weather guide. So I didn't actually heed my own advice. I stayed with traction control on 2, but after I made this video, I did one quick lap to get a thumbnail, and I realised I probably should have increased the traction control. So if you're struggling in the wet, I would advise increasing the TCS. Mine's currently on 2, but probably should have gone to 3 or maybe 4. As far as anti-wheelie goes, I was quite happy with that and don't think I need to change it. But guys, if you do enjoy this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button. It does help out the channel quite a lot, and I'm pushing to get to the next increment of 1,000 subscribers. So thank you for your support so far, but let's crack on. So first and foremost, just watch the Argentina Grand Prix. Marco Bezzecchi in a class of his own. Absolutely terrific. Getting his first victory in MotoGP is sensational, and it was coming. It was a matter of time, really. We seen him in the sprint race yesterday. He was magnificent, and here today, even better. In the wet conditions, I thought he might not fare as well, but as far as Marco Bezzecchi is concerned, he woke up with a strange feeling that he thought he was going to be victorious. So the first benchmark lap time for me is a 1:44.568. Nothing too spectacular. It is a while since I've last ridden in the wet, so I'm not expecting something truly incredible or unbeatable. But I would like you guys to compete and see what lap times you get. You can share them with me in the Discord server by clicking on the link in the description box right underneath the video. Now for turn 3 onwards, I am going to use the ride height device. I find that it does help me bring on the power. It's what they were doing in real life MotoGP, and I have a habit of trying to stay within the realms of what they do in real life and balancing it over with what they do in MotoGP. I know it doesn't really work that way because, after all, it is a computer game, it is different, but I would like to think I do a good job of balancing the realism with the commentary and the riding and, of course, the gaming in my content as well. So that's what I'm looking for, and that's what I'm aiming to achieve. But I'm also aiming to achieve to get into the 143s. Hopefully the 142s if that's not too ambitious. Currently trending in the direction of going into the next increment of seconds, so if we do get to 143, I'll be relatively happy with that. It gives us motivation, confidence and momentum going into the next few laps. But I have a slight concern. I did choose the medium rear tyre because I thought that would be better as this track eventually dries out. Now I am using a wet track. This is not rainy or anything else, as you can see. So for this challenge, if you want to follow what I'm doing and replicate what I'm challenging here today, use Marco Bezzecchi on the factory Ducati, or at least the GP21 I think it is in this game, here in Argentina in the wet conditions. You can use whatever traction control you want, but or any of the electronics for that matter. It's just what I happen to use at this time. Now, I guess you could balance it by using a bit of power setting 2 here and a bit of power setting 3 there, but I just went for power setting 3. Just went for it, you know, just let it fly, go for power setting 3 and see what happens. So, ride height device put on again, charging down the straight. I feel I can get a bit of time here by braking later. I usually brake roughly where the Michelin sign is, so I'm going to try and give it everything we've got here, braking deep into turn 5. But the magnificent brakes on the Ducati GP21 or 22 certainly strong enough to stop us in those hard braking zones. Now Marco Bezzecchi had a moment here in Saturday's race in the sprint, and it really caught me off guard. I actually watched that sprint race again, and it still caught me off guard how loose and wild that GP22 was looking. Now, for the game, it is the GP21, and in real life, he is currently running a GP22. So we'll see that when we get MotoGP 23, because of course MotoGP 3 recently announced super excited for the prospect of having flag-to-flag races. My career mode videos are going to be even more entertaining now with that. Oh, we've gone a bit deep there for turn 13. Went for the sort of opportunity of going a little bit wider to then bring it back in. Got a bit distracted when I was thinking about the new MotoGP game. So a deviation of around a couple of tenths of a second. I do hope I can stay within 5, 6, 7 tenths of each lap time. If I start slipping to maybe a second, then I'm going to be a little bit concerned. I don't like doing a time trial where the lap times aren't consistent. We all aim to achieve consistency and a good performance throughout the session rather than just a couple of one-hit wonder lap times. So I'm looking to avoid that and looking to be competitive and confident. So we're losing a tenth of a second in the first sector. However, we're strong on the brakes going into turn 4 here, or turn 5 should I say. So we now go to the right hand side. Keep it in nice and tight, then bring on the power slowly. Bring it on abruptly with the traction control at 2 and your rear tyre is going to slide and heat up quick. So I do need to be very, very careful with Marco Bezzecchi. Now a quick mention of the race itself. Not the most entertaining races, unfortunately. Especially not compared to the sprint the day before. But you have to consider this was wet weather. The racing always changes when it's wet. We've seen it in Moto 3, we've seen it in Moto 2, and then we've finally seen it in the Premier class of MotoGP. It's just not that exciting. It's usually a couple of riders who one breaks to the front, one will break to the second, and then you have a bit of a lull in the action for quite a while whilst the riders get a feel for things. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to get a feel for the track, trying to get a feel for the bike and where we can push and where we maybe cannot. Bringing on the ride-out device coming out of that final corner prematurely is a disaster. You've got to avoid doing that. I brought it on a little bit too early there and I lost a bit of feeling. I got caught in the rumble strip. And this is sort of what happens in real life. You find riders, they have a few moments, they'll settle down for a while, they might get a bit more into it, they start chucking in some wonderful moves, and then it may teeter off again. So in this one, I'm hoping I can just remain that consistency. And let me know, definitely let me know what lap times you're doing. If you don't have the means to get Discord or to join our server, then just let me know in the comment section down below. Would really like to see what you guys can do when it comes to the wet weather. And it seems that we always neglect wet weather during any sort of time trial challenge. It's usually avoided at all costs. Even in the DrAce British Superbike Championship for Ride 4, we didn't even have a wet race. I think even the very suggestion of a wet race would really turn people off. I do appreciate they're not as intense or as exciting, but they do have their purpose, and it does happen. So we've got to give the wet weather riders a shout out, because some people are really strong with the wet and maybe not so much in the dry. Now going into turn 9 there, I thought that would be a corner that would catch me off guard, but I can honestly say I felt rather confident going into turn 9. I feel like I could be a little bit more aggressive there, but as long as we're not making any mistakes and crashing, I guess I don't really need to be concerned about that. So as far as turn 9 goes, I felt like I did a good job, but I feel there's a few more tenths to be gained. If you happen to find tenths in that sector, then let me know. I think it's just a little bit of confidence. Turn 1, I could never really find the right braking zone. Even in the dry, when I was racing with Franco Morbidelli on Saturday, I never felt like I could really tackle turn 1 consistently. I've tried both methods, from going tight to the apex to a little bit wider and cutting it back in. A bit similar to what the Boscoscura chassis do in Moto 2, for example. So with that in mind, I feel there is a lot of time to be gained here, even in the wet conditions, but it just needs a bit of time. Doing the 10 plus whatever laps I did for this video felt like a good balance, and I felt like I was getting really stronger towards the end of the session, and I hope the lap times depict that way for you guys when you get up to that part. But now into turn 5, going for that middle part of the track, and I must confess, the Ducati felt really good in the wet. When I did a video a few days ago, or excuse me, it was a while ago actually when I did the wet weather riding, I tried a few methods before making the video, and I found that some bikes really favoured the wet and some didn't. Of course, Ducatis always tend to go well in the wet. This has been a thing since the early 2000s. and it's certainly a trend that's keeping up. But the Ducatis right now are just too damn good anyway, so I don't think they even have a weakness. However, maybe corner speed, but even then, I don't think it's that much. Certainly nothing to scoff at the very least. A quick glance to the right hand side there to have a look at our lap times. 1:44.5, 1:43.8, 1:44.3, 1:43.9. Relatively close. Not too bad of a deviation, but I'm concerned that this lap time is going to be our worst yet. But we managed to pull back a little bit of time there, or at least temporarily, into the penultimate corner. But unfortunately, that is our worst lap so far. That's about a second down, or 9/10, to our fastest one yet. That can't be a good sign. So lap 6 not promising for us controlling Marco Bezzecchi. So I need to tweak this. Need to start improving a little bit more. Maybe when we get to MotoGP 23, I could do a recap of this and try with the GP23 bike, or GP22 as he's on the GP21 now. Goodness me, there's so many GPs and numbers in these games and in the show to actually remember. Got to do a better job of maybe writing that down. So anyway, back on the brakes again for turn 5. Really feeling good in this corner now. I think we can still even go later. I'm going roughly after the Michelin sign above, and then there's a little patch on the left hand side of the track. I'll show you on the next lap where I'm using as a braking marker. Here's a great spot as well for Michelin sign. Underneath, start braking in there. You can go a little bit later, but I find tighter to the apex works better for the 7th corner here in Argentina. So if you're trying to improve your lap time, consider braking roughly near the Michelin sign. And here, there's another white part on the off side of the track to help you brake in there. Now, if you're looking for more guides on MotoGP 22 and how to improve your riding style, braking, and even wet weather riding, then I would urge you and implore you to subscribe to the channel, because I've got a lot of guides on there that will help you become a better player. Not just for MotoGP 22, but for MotoGP 21. Maybe you're in an older MotoGP game, or even in Superbike, there's guides on there for you as well. And of course, the legendary Ride 4, which we all love and adore. So the conclusion of lap number 7, a pretty strong lap time there, 1:43.901, so 70 thousandths of a second away from improving the lap time. We're going in the right direction now. Trending forwards is what we're looking for here. Of course, there's a couple of areas that I do think we need to improve upon. That will come together with time, but I do want to show you turn 5's braking marker. This is where I mentioned to you on the previous lap time. Turn 3 is a tough one as well, because the bike just refuses to turn in. Tried upshifting or downshifting there, you don't really seem to get a benefit. But keep an eye on the left hand side of the track here. First braking marker, second braking marker. Big 2 white blobs on the left hand side of the track. When you get to that second one, very important, use a lot of rear brake and use a lot of front brake. Don't necessarily just jam on the front brake and hope for the best, because that's not going to work. You're going to compress the front and the rear tyre is going to lift. So heed the doctor's advice and use the rear brake. It's vital to get good lap times in MotoGP 22. It's one of the few things that for me was the key to unlocking the performance in this game. So just bear that in mind as we get caught on the rumble strip there for turn 9. Hearts in mouths moments. I've not really been abusing the rumble strips too much in MotoGP 22 because they are quite deadly depending on the circuit, and if it's wet, then stay the hell off the rumble strips. Any curbs or anything bumps wise, keep away when it's wet. Now that lost a lot of time there. That's my worst lap time yet, is coming in here on lap 8. That's a shocker. What lap time is it going to be? It's a 1:44.9, so almost down into the 1:45s. A little bit concerning, that one, I won't lie to you. So not a very good lap time there, ladies and gentlemen. Got to try and avoid that and stay on the track. Now I'm going to do, 2 more lap times for you now. Pressure is on myself here, really, rather than you guys. We've got to dig down deep here on this penultimate lap if it's going to be. Keep it in tight. Almost went too tight. Cutting across the curb there was not something I planned on doing, but I wanted to give it a try just to see what happens. Going for that Johan Zarco line as he overtook Alex Marquez at this very moment here, going into turn 5. Nothing that Marquez could do but shake his head at that one. A little bit deep into turn 5. So unfortunately what time we gained is what we're losing. Still relatively close, only losing a tenth of a second on this exchange of lap times. Could be solid, just got to keep it in tight now. Brake early here. Not too aggressive, because that happens. You get the rear tyre lifting up. But still solid. Bringing on the power now. Down by 2.5 tenths of a second. 2 tenths, maybe a little bit less. Braking firm now for turn 9. Still a bit wide. That's going to cost us. It certainly did. That cost us around 2 tenths of a second for just going a smidge wide for turn 9. Corner I didn't really feel I had any trouble with is suddenly rearing its ugly head as a hindrance for our performance. So we're going to keep on pushing. Give it, what, 2 more laps? Maybe 1? Maybe I fancy another one? I'll keep you guys guessing. Who knows how many I'm going to do. But across the line, keep away from the rumble strip if we can. We're back into the 144s. But the good sign there is when the low 144s. 144.2 is getting us closer and closer to that 143.8 that we set so many laps ago. That was the 4th lap we set that one, ladies and gentlemen. And we still haven't bettered it. We've got a lot of work to do here. And so far, going into the wider part of that corner there for turn 2, and then back over here to the right for turn 3, they're doing the Johan Zarco line again, bringing on the ride height device. Was it better? I guess you guys are going to have to test that one out for me. I might test it again on another lap just to see what the difference is. But braking extremely late now, just kissing the rumble strip on the left-hand side there as we brake quite tremendously for turn 5. 3 tenths of a second still separates us from where we want to be. On the left-hand side, still running that second traction control. The tyres are getting a bit feels like they're getting a bit loose, but evidently it's not depicting it. Still looks pretty solid at this stage of the Grand Prix. There's a lot of rumble and vibration to the controller, and that's what was worrying me, because I thought I was being too aggressive with the acceleration. Hard to see if I actually was. Not looking too bad really when we think about it. But turn 11 then, I guess we're going to have to, because I can't end this video being 3 or 4 tenths off the pace. Let's give it another try. We'll end on 11 laps. That's the goal now, ladies and gentlemen. Stay on board with me, guys. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, and we are going to do one more lap. And we actually recovered very well there. A 1:44.001 for lap 10 means we are trending in the right direction. Could this be it? Could this be back into the 143s? And could it be an improvement? Saving it to the last one, guys. Hard on the brakes will go with them for turn 2. Keeping it in nice and tight. Seemed to work well a few laps ago. Back over to the right hand side. Should we go for the Zarco line again? Very tight to the apex there, but not touching it. No Zarco line. Just keep it in the middle of the circuit. Bring the power on. We're dead heat with the first split from the previous lap. I think it was lap 4 that was still our fastest lap at this stage, as we go really firm on the anchors for turn 5. We've run it deep. Do the old Bosca scorer line there. Go in deep and then bring it back. Oh, it's kind of paying off. It is indeed. Up by 33 thousandths of a second, or 34 now it says on the graphic in the top right hand corner of your screen. Hard on the brakes will go again, keeping that rear tyre planted on the ground. Oh, that's really tight. Oh, I've misjudged that one. I've really misjudged it. But wow, that paid off tremendously. We got a whole tenth of a second for doing that. Now do we get it right going into turn 9? A little bit eager. Still on it. Giving it everything. Up by what, 42,000? 67,000 of a second? We could do this. This could be it. On the final lap of today's video, this could be putting us back into the 143s. This could be your lap time to beat, ladies and gentlemen. We're deep into turn 13. That's not going to cut it. But I think we've still got a chance. To the left-hand side, we're up by a tenth across the line. Oh, we're almost off the circuit there. A 143.667 is for what you guys need to beat. Thank you very much for watching the video, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. On screen now is my lap times. It's only showing 8, but I guess the last 2 were nothing special anyway. So those are the lap times you need to beat. Let me know on my Discord server. Join via the link in the description down below. And I guess I'll chat to you there. So guys, thank you very much for watching the video. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. Consider liking the video, consider subscribing, and even consider becoming a member of the DrAce pit crew. Thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure. Ciao for now.
Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.